Recently getting back into Borderlands 3 after the Pandora's Box collection went on sale on Steam. I wanted to get back to max level with an endgame build as fast as possible to complete all the endgame content. That made me wonder, how fast could I make an endgame ready build? I'm gonna put myself to the test by starting off with a fresh level 72 character with the campaign already complete. It is really nice that this option is available on character creation. So here's some rules for the run. First, I must fill in every gear slot. All the gear must contribute something to the build and not just be filler. I'll also not be farming for perfect rolls, but rather good enough gear just to get you started. Second is no using the bank or any perks from any other characters. Third, no diamond or gold chest to get gear right off the bat. And fourth, no glitches. I'll also be trying to stay away from any DLC gear. All this gear is going to be attainable in the base game, so if you're just starting off a fresh character, or just got to the max level and not sure what to farm for first, you could use this as a guide. My goal is to complete this in around an hour. This can be very RNG dependent based on how dry you go for certain drops, but all the gear is at least a 10% drop rate, so no farms will take that long. In this run, I'll be playing Zane with a rendition of Killer 6's Chill and Kill Zane build, link in the description. The build's a really enjoyable run and gun build that can utilize most weapons in the game efficiently. Now let's get into the run. The run begins here at the main menu, selecting our max level 72 character. The first thing we're going to do is open the skill tree and spec out our build. One of the features of this build is the capstone skill in the red tree, giving the clone a copy of our gun, while the blue and purple trees focus on our kill skills. For our action skills, we're going to use the clone and the mantis cannon. The mantis cannon is used to constantly proc our action skills thanks to the C and red skill, as well as give us some bonus cryo damage. The build is going to end up pairing very well with any cryo weapons or shield novas in the future. More details about this in Killer 6's breakdown. Next, we're going to head off to Sanctuary to get our first weapons and a basic shield to use. First, we're going to turn on Mayhem 11, then can head to any vending machine and sell all the starter gear the game gave us. We're not going to need any of it. We're then going to head up to Moxie's bar and start spam tipping her $1,000. After tipping Moxie, she can send us one of two weapons in the mail, either the hail or the crit. We're going to get both weapons, but focusing on the crit. The crit's an extremely powerful SMG that's locked to the shock element and heals you when you do damage. There's one downside to this weapon, which is when you reload, you have a 5% chance to drop the weapon. This ends up not being too big of a deal for how good the gun is. This is our first weapon we're going to lock into our final build. Next, we're going to run up to Tannis and buy any generic shield to use. Actually, lucky enough on this run, I was able to pull a legendary shield from the vending machine, albeit not a good one. This doesn't help the run in any way, as the first thing we're going to replace is our shield. Next, we can head over and buy some ammo SDUs. This is going to help a lot when we're farming. Now we're off to our first farm. We're going to go for the Frozen Heart Shield. This is a great all-around shield and has really good synergies with the build. To get this, we're going to be killing Aurelia in the Black Barrel Cellars on Eden 6. On screen shows the location where we can farm her.
You got a death wish?
I could crush you with my wallet! All legs are in it to win it! Don't get swept away! Winter has come! Bloody inferiors! Insufferable! That's it!
Gotta charge me, damn cannon! Need a moment!
Not today!
I'll show you the power of the twin gods! For the twin gods!
Damn you! Away! You'll get poor on me!
As we can see here, first run honestly didn't go too well. I would really focus on using the crit instead of the hail. It's a much better weapon. Good thing is though, these bosses will drop a bunch of random legendary weapons, and we can use them to kill other bosses. I won't be using these weapons too often, as all the weapons we're going to collect will be used at the next bosses.
One assassination on the house. Come on!
And here we go. On our third run here, we get the Frozen Heart. It's pretty lucky, to be honest. On to our next farm is going to be the Sandhawk. To get the Sandhawk, we're going to go kill Katagawa Jr. inside Atlas HQ on Promethea. To get here, we have to run around the courtyard, then through the HQ and up the elevator. It's kind of a pain, but it's not too bad. The location is shown on screen. The Sandhawk is going to be used as our weapon that we're going to give to our clone. The clone does ridiculous damage with this weapon. We won't be using it too much since it runs through your ammo way too fast, but in the clone's hands it'll be a huge DPS increase for us. When farming this weapon, I'd recommend going for it in either shock, corrosive, or cryo. Another note for this is that we don't care if it's going to be in full auto or burst, since the clone always fires this weapon in burst mode.
Hey there, you seem
This fight's not too bad with the crit. With this build, sometimes Katagawa Jr. just kind of explodes and gets one shot, and sometimes he'll jump around. Usually he'll jump around to the first, I guess, perch you can call it, and then you shoot him a little bit and he should die pretty quick. I also did decide to try out some random legendary sniper rifle I got, and as you can see here, sometimes his health bar kind of just disappears and he dies. That happens most runs.
That was all me. Zero tech.
And here on the 9th run, we get a Sandhawk in the corrosive element. I would recommend if you do not get it in one of the elements mentioned before, keep on farming until you do. It is well worth it. We're now going to get our next major DPS increase, which is the Executor class mod. This is obtained from Baron Noggin in the Meridian Metroplex on Promethea, shown on the screen. This class mod gives us another kill skill aside from our skill tree and gives bonus points and very important skills. This new kill skill grants various buffs that's great in pretty much any scenario. Being this class mod is so easy to farm, it's a great pickup on any Zane build. Now while we're farming, ensure to keep the Sandhawk equipped when we're summoning the clone to ensure he's using the Sandhawk. Another thing you might notice that I'm doing is I'm constantly proccing the cryo cannon to keep the kill skills active. One of the kill skills gives Zane a speed boost, so it helps the farming speed.
just for the crack. Shoulder shooter's empty.
And there we have it. On the 8th run, we got the Executor class mod. Pretty good luck considering we haven't gone dry for anything yet. Next up is to farm the Hellwalker. This shotgun is honestly one of the most fun weapons to use in this game, and overall it's great. It's guaranteed to be fire, so this does round out the elemental coverage in our build. It also has a static roll, so every roll is basically the god roll since you can't get any better parts other than the anointments. To farm this weapon, we're going to head to the Splinterlands on Pandora, travel to Pit's Stop, and head to the location shown on screen. Also make sure to grab this save station here, so when you respawn you're close. This is another fast farm, considering how good the reward is.
Look, it's the real Zane! There! Head game! That's the stuff!
And easy enough, 4 runs in, we get the Hellwalker. Now it's time to get a grenade mod. For the grenade mod, I went with the Piss. Pretty easy choice. If you're wondering what's the reason to get a specific grenade mod on Zane, well, actually with this build, your clone can throw grenades, and this grenade debuffs enemies on hit, making them take 20% more damage. So for this build, it's a no-brainer. You get the Piss from Captain Thunk and Sloth in Conrad's Hold on Pandora, shown on screen. And on only our second run here, we get the Piss. Nice, quick, and easy farm. Now it's actually time to go do a side quest. The side quest we're going to go complete is Witch's Brew at Jacob's Estate on Eden 6. This side quest lets you farm Azalea after the quest, and she drops the Victory Rush artifact. This is the artifact I use in my main build, and is super nice to have. This is one item I would potentially stay and grind out. A role you like, as you'll most likely end up using this artifact a lot. I personally like the Snowdrift prefix, but the Icebreaker fits in very well with this build. After 10 runs, we got the victory rush. Now we just have one weapon left to finish the build. For the final weapon, I'm choosing the Breath of the Dying. This is a great mobbing weapon, and since it's always corrosive, it's a good element to add to the arsenal. It is dropped from the Blinding Banshee on Desolation's Edge on Necrotafeo. On run number 25, we finally got it. Just missed the 1 hour mark, but considering how lucky I was in some of the other drops, I was bound to go dry somewhere. Now the build is finally complete. First we got the Hellwalker for fire damage, and it's great for taking out badasses with large crit spots. The crit is used for consistent damage and good against shields. The Breath of the Dying is great for taking out large crowds of enemies and effective against armor. And finally the Sandhawk for the clone to deal massive damage. With the build complete, you can either start farming bigger and better weapons or begin to take on some of the endgame content. The first upgrade I'd go for after this build is replacing the crit. The 5% chance to drop the weapon on reload gets quite annoying, and if you have DLC, I would definitely recommend farming something like the Light Show. For now, here's a run of the Maliwan takedown. If you'd like to see me show what my next steps would be on this character, or do another challenge run like this on another class, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.
Now entering the clone zone. Fix those pricks!
Competition is for the weak. We are the future, but in a cool way.
Oh, big mistake, William.
Ourselves.
Need a charge! You couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo!
No.
Get that attractive bastard right there!
Competition engaged. Taste like learning. Boss system shut down.
Ah! Need a new mag.